What up, Hyperchange? Welcome to another episode of Moonshot Monday. Today I'm going to pitch that Apple buys Ledger. Ledger is the startup behind the Nano OS, which is a fascinating little crypto hardware wallet. It has exploded onto the scene in the past year and become one of the most popular products in the blockchain space. In fact, I just bought one of these myself and just put out a whole vlog episode about setting up my Nano Ledger S. You can check that out for more, which goes step by step of exactly how I got my Ethereum from my Coinbase account onto my Nano Ledger. Basically what this is a USB-like device that is a very secure way to store your crypto assets like Bitcoin or Ethereum offline in a PIN code protected way, and it is what is called a hardware wallet. Ledger is the leading company in the hardware wallet revolution, and I think it makes a ton of sense for Apple to buy them and leapfrog all of its big tech competition and be a winner in crypto assets. But first, before we get into why Apple should buy them, let's do a little bit of background on this Ledger startup. Founded in 2014, based in Paris, France, they have absolutely exploded onto the scene with revenue here. The business has gone from 600,000 euros in 2016 to 46 million euros in 2017. This has got to be one of the fastest growing hardware startups on the planet, almost 100x in revenue last year. By my estimates, the company is looking at 150 million revenue plus this year. The company has raised about $85 million to date from some of the world's leading venture capitalists, Boost VC, Digital Currency Group, First Mark Capital. They have declined to disclose their valuation, but based on the fact that I think they're going to soar past the 100 million revenue mark, I think these guys are worth $1 billion, probably climbing and more. And remember, this is just a 3 or 4 year old startup and are the leader in this rapidly emerging niche of hardware wallets, which is emerging as perhaps the most secure way to store your crypto assets. So why Apple? First of all, just off the bat, it looks like Apple is already selling this product. Like the font is the same, the focus on perfection of the packaging and the product design is so Apple-esque. It literally just looks like an Apple product. I don't know if that's a good reason, but there it is. Second reason or thing on the checklist here is Apple has enough cash to not think twice about this. They could acquire Ledger in 2 seconds, even if it costs them $5 billion. That's not a drop in the bucket to Apple's $200 billion in cash. They could do this outright with no dilution of shareholders. So I think it makes a lot of sense from that perspective. But the biggest reason why is I believe Apple wants to move into banking, into services. This is why they are pushing Apple Pay so hard and are trying to get people to use payments via the Apple platform. I think a huge way for them to advance this and get towards the future of payments, which I believe are cryptocurrencies, is to buy Ledger. The hardware wallet as a product is getting more and more popular as a very secure and private way to store things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, not on an exchange, which can be hacked, which can freeze up, which can restrict access to your crypto assets. If you really want to have a lot of money at stake and you want to take control of these digital currencies that you own, you're gonna want to own a hardware wallet. And Apple is so aligned with this philosophy because of their focus on privacy and security and encryption. Apple is an incredibly trusted brand, probably one of the most trusted brands in the world. If they put their name behind a hardware wallet, I believe that would instantly become one of the most trusted methods to store your crypto assets in the entire planet. This would leapfrog Apple. None of their big tech competition has made a power move in cryptocurrencies or crypto assets yet. This is a way Apple can do it by getting in with a hardware product. Also, by buying Ledger and not trying to build this out on their own, not only do they get the team and the expertise that Ledger has already, which is doing a phenomenal job, but they can continue to run this hardware product on the Ledger brand, which I think isolates a lot of risk, because they're not, putting at stake the full Apple name behind crypto assets. They're still relying on Ledger as sort of a subsidiary. Also, if they don't buy it, I believe PayPal, Stripe, Square, even Amazon, Facebook, or Google are all likely candidates to acquire Ledger. Also, just in terms of setting up my Nano Ledger, there was so many different steps and so many sort of confusing points to actually go from fiat currency onto my Nano Ledger. Apple, by creating a software portal that goes end to end, where you can just plug in your Ledger and be able to upload going from fiat currency on your credit card, which Apple already has on file, right into storing Bitcoin and Ethereum and putting it on here in one seamless platform, would save such a headache for the Ledger community. Eventually, additionally, they could input a little chip in your Nano Ledger so you could take it to the store and use it like Apple Pay and just tap it and go. Even beyond that, they could integrate this entire product into an iPhone, so your iPhone also doubles as a cryptocurrency hardware wallet. Like, the possibilities are endless, and this is clearly the future of storing your digital assets. Apple has so much cash. They're such a boring company. I think them moving into banking via crypto assets, via Ledger, makes so much sense. It would get investors excited again. Although the company is small now, in just a couple years, this could become a really big piece of Apple's business if crypto assets take off like how I think they will. Before I wrap it up, I'm gonna send you guys over to Alex Sankov, Hyperchange's crypto asset advisor, to give you guys a couple more ideas on why Apple should buy Ledger. Okay, Alex, so why do you think that Apple should buy Ledger?
Two reasons. First of all, I think that Apple really has a very high addressable market in the privacy space. People buying Apple devices because they care about the Apple's track record when it comes to user privacy, and having a embedded hardware wallet on an Apple device will definitely add to that and help them address more of that market. And then second of all, I think that if you really think about what a hardware wallet is it's a unique identifier tied to a device. So you go around so many places on the internet and they have that functionality, log in with Facebook, log in with Google. There's no such thing as log in with Apple. And that's a major weakness that Apple has because people have to go through Facebook to log into new services. If Apple were to ever be able to put in a hardware wallet onto their device, you can literally do login with Apple, and it's not a username or password, which is annoying and people hate to keep. It's literally embedded in the device itself. So not only do you get greater security, you get greater usability. And
so
difficult.
You think Apple would basically integrate the functionality of that into an iPhone app?
I think what they would do is they would take the chip that actually stores the private key and they would embed that into an iPhone, and they would create their own app on top of it to interact with it.
So the iPhone would become a hardware cryptocurrency wallet?
Yes.
So do you think this is what the bank of the future looks like?
Exactly. This is it.
And this is why Apple needs to buy Ledger.
This is like touchscreen level advancement, because this allows you to trust somebody else remotely in a way that you were never able to do using username and passwords.
So the future of payments are the nano ledger, and Apple needs to get in on.
Definitely, or at least collaborate with.
We're back. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments or questions about this Moonshot Monday, about Apple buying Ledger, please let us know below. I'll see you guys next time. This is Hyperchange. Peace.